One of the biggest red pills for me when it came to critiquing capitalism is the fact that housekeeping and child rearing is not socially compensated. On an individual level, capitalism is about, free commerce, the, currency to exchange like people's labor and blah, blah, blah. But on a social level, the whole point of capitalism is an incentive structure so that necessary social labor gets performed and you develop those financial models as a way of making sure that gets done. So under capitalism, it's like, okay, well, if society needs something, people will attempt to meet that need, and their incentive for doing so is the profits that they will receive when people who need that thing will pay for it. But for some reason, two of the most necessary things that we do socially receive no compensation, which is to say raising children and keeping the home clean. And the reason for that is because historically it's something that we just expect the women do without any kind of compensation. Why is it that some socially necessary labor is essentially subsidized through a social expectation that a particular class of people just do it for free? And you could say, well, they're being compensated because if they're working back at home, they get like a rent, they get food and stuff. That's just the same argument we make with slavery. They don't get paid in wages. They get paid in their health care and in their lodgings and in their food. Why aren't these forms of labor compensated for? And what's more, what does it mean about our systems of social incentive that it's possible for such vital labor to be performed without a financial incentive? Wouldn't that suggest there are other socially necessary functions that might be fulfilled with some kind of social compulsion or incentive? Why are we relying on child raising, which is so necessary a system, when every other element of child raising is managed through some kind of capitalist financial mode, like say teaching them or feeding them? That's done through systems that people get compensated for. So why does the role of being the child rearer at home suddenly mean that you're just expected to do it? And why have we created a set of legal structures to legitimize that? Because it's called child neglect if you don't raise your children. It's a crime to not feed your kids. So rather than employ the capitalist logic of paying for labor, instead, we socially mandate an entire class of people do it for free in exchange for non-wage compensation. And then we created legal structures to bind them to that role. I don't have anything against parents being charged with child neglect if they fail to take care of their children, but it does make you wonder how much other stuff could you potentially incentivize outside of a capitalist system. Let me put it this way, in the simplest possible way. Conservatives are pro-capitalism. Why are conservatives against the state paying mothers for having children? If having children is socially necessary and also something that we're literally on the decline of, we don't have an internally reproducible population curve, we use immigration to shore that up, you'd think more so than ever it would be socially necessary to incentivize having children. And yet, they're against the very simple capitalist logic of what if we just paid people to have children? I don't think there are any answers to this that you can get to without some kind of socialist analysis.